This is our weekly AMA where we talk about crypto. You can ask me any questions you like, so welcome. Let me just go through a little bit of news first and then ask away any questions that you have on crypto. So firstly, markets have taken a little bit of a tumble. They reached 100K and they've fallen down. So Bitcoin went over 100K and they just kind of jumped down. We can see Solana is still doing fine though, but it is dropping a little bit quickly. So if you've got a long on, watch out for that, of course. And in terms of anything gaining, nothing really. Pudgy Penguins is down 11%. So a little bit of a dip. Interestingly, just here as we can see it, Dog with Hat has not had that kind of strength. And as soon as Ansem became a little bit less active, it hasn't really, kept up its momentum. So that's one thing to keep in mind, that you really do need people out there really, really bullish on the token, which is one reason why I'm not super, super bullish on that, or when, as an example. All right, so we've got some big news here. This is from Mani. So Mani is the CEO of Backpack, Mad Lads. If you don't know who he is, he's a very Giga Chad dev and was part of like FTX and Serum and all that back in the previous cycle. And they've actually gone and acquired FTX EU. So they've acquired their license, so they'll be able to roll out Backpack Exchange into Europe, but they'll be also responsible for any like dispersing of funds, anyone that had a claim. So that's some cool news. And now this next part it's a proposal going forward, unsure the time or whatever, but essentially Solana's amazing. It is amazing, but if you want to get your transactions through, they're no longer 1 cent. They haven't been 1 cent for quite some time. If you're doing DLMMing or anything like that, and if you care about getting your transaction there, you have to pay a priority fee. You have to pay a Gito tip, and you're basically looking at like 80 cents a transaction sometimes a little bit more. Now, so what they are, and there's plenty of other things involved. So long story short, Solana is trying to scale. So there's a new like proposal or like some research going in. I don't have all the information yet. It's just very, very new, very nascent. So and I don't even understand all this perfectly. This is quite high level, but I understand enough to know that, it's very, very relevant. Basically, this is what's been proposed is a new method where the intermediate states aren't worried about, just like the finalized states, kind of what makes it onto the chain along those lines. But the major thing that I do understand, and I'm very, very excited for, is just quantum resistance. So Bitcoin, how it currently exists, is not quantum resistant. And we'll cover some really cool stuff from the CES 2025 presentation later, where AI is developing so fast, it's kind of scary. One major thing is the fact that there's quite a few people that think that quantum computing will break in like 5 to 10 years. 5 to 10 years away, it'll be able to break private keys and all sorts. So there will need to be a hard fork on networks, upgrades. Private keys will need to go through completely being upgraded or changed. I'm unsure how this is going to work, but people have to work on it now. But this idea makes Solana quantum resistant, which is incredible. All right. One big point here is with Dupe, just as a reminder, there hasn't been a whole lot of Dupe news. There's no active votes or whatever, but the burn is coming this month. And my understanding is 30% will be burnt in Istanbul. I'm pretty sure of that. In the past, they've said like it'll be burnt in waves, so I'm not 100% certain, but I'm pretty sure that 30% will be burnt. I clarified with someone yesterday. They said they're pretty sure. And also, if you have lots of Dupe and lots of different wallets, try and consolidate it. Get it into one wallet with over 1,069 Dupe, maybe like 1,200 or whatever. That puts you into the top 10% of stakers, which could qualify you for Pingu, or qualified you for Pingu and Blue airdrops, apparently. Unsure on the Blue, to be honest. You may have needed more. but I think it's better to be in the higher amount as opposed to the lower amounts. And yesterday I did a video which was on Pulse and Gainsey, and a little bit more on that afterwards. But this is a competitor. I haven't bought one of these. I haven't done a deep dive into it. I'm not really big on the idea of having a ring on my finger as like some sort of fitness device, because your fingers kind of change a little bit in shape and size depending on weather and whatnot. But some people may think this is pretty cool. Either way, I'm very bullish on Cast Card. Mentioned it many times. And if you do this, you actually get a free Cast Black card, which otherwise is $1,000, or if you sign up with my code, it's like $800, said Monty. But this gets it to you for free. So no referral for me, but this is a damn decent deal. I was going to give a little bit of an info on the flow, but I'll just kind of tell you right now that it's not perfect. Basically, you come here, you have to join, you have to go and scan this link, then you sign up for the card, you set up the card, the free card, you fund it with funds, and then you have to fill out a form, then you have to go to their website, or you have to come back to Kudos, and if you click on their website, and long story short, it starts from $350 US dollars. So plus shipping and all that sort of stuff will be a little bit time. One really cool thing is that there's no subscription, which is cool, and you could be getting like $5,000 a year as a wellness grant. It'd be good to speak to the team, do a podcast, because the more competition, the better. Competitors always make someone else better. Kira, this was an airdrop on Sui. This has now been extended by 1 week. So if you're still in this, just put a little bit of attention. If you haven't jumped in, just jump in a little bit more if you can. And back to Jupiter. So the Jupiter planetary call is tomorrow, 3:30 p.m. And this will be dropping some alpha around cat symbol and as well as some Ape Jupiter updates if you're into meme coins. One really cool thing is catsymbol.jupe.ag. I have decided I am going to go. So I will be there just for a couple of days. This is the 25th to the 26th of Jan. And you can apply for the grant. So you come here and then get a ticket, fill out, do this sort of thing. There is a form to fill out. Unsure where it is. This is for like the grant. You have to be approved to get the grant. And I will be there. And I think anyone that's actually keen to go, it's in Turkey. It's a $2,000 grant. Maybe it costs you $3,000 with flights and accommodation and everything. But it's a pretty epic event. Cat symbol, Istanbul, check it out. It's pretty cool to place. It's Mert's stomping ground. Not that he lives there, but that's where he's from. And yeah, worth checking that out. And yeah, go ahead. Now, yesterday I spoke about Pulse. Today I spoke about Kudos. However, 6 p.m. today, they are doing a space. If I can access this, I will be jumping onto the space if I'm not too busy. And I don't know what they're talking about, but I'm pretty decently bullish on them. I've bought a Pulse. I'll buy a couple more, most likely, just for people in my family. And I think this has a good chance of being far more successful than, even like a Solana Seeker, as an example. But nothing's financial advice, just my opinion. Now, I just want to quickly just point this out before we go into all the questions. People have asked about Base, if Base is where we should be going or whatnot. Excuse me. I have said from 2023 that Base would be the hottest EVM chain, and I've been right, but I haven't been playing there. It's very, very centralized, and there hasn't been enough attraction over there. I haven't really had the bandwidth. But one thing to keep in mind is that people will fake things. So apparently there is some faking in terms of the actual TVL or volume over there. And this is a very interesting tweet, maybe from a competitor. Note, buildingtime.fun. Cool, which I forgot to sign up to. But long story short, the second top perp protocol on Base is fake. The top one is fake. These are fake. And how this is illustrated is basically there's a massive amount of volume, but then the spread there's not a lot of actual volume there. This is basically wash trading volume. There isn't, it's not like a sex replacement, which is, this is how it should be. You should have it like this. And this is how it actually is. That is nasty. So this is like you're paying a significant premium between the two as opposed to this. And you can see, I mean, significantly more volume here, but this is a bit disappointing. So with Base, go over there if you find a good opportunity, of course. I don't think they're going to airdrop, but if they did airdrop, it would be absolutely massive. So, do have a little bit of skin in the game, but it's certainly nothing that I'm like super, super bullish on. Now, before we get into the questions, I just want to cover this because artificial intelligence is where, this is extremely scary, but scary. If you know how to use it, then we're going to be okay. Or if you get ahead of the game, or if you watch my video like Welcome to 2025, what's next? It's a little bit of a wake-up call for some. It's my opinion. Basically, the TLDR is hustle during 2025. Try your best to make it. Don't over leverage or anything, but set yourself up with as many skills as possible, because what comes next after that is artificial intelligence, super artificial intelligence, robotics. It just starts to take over the next couple of years, and robotics maybe 5 years. Here are a couple of things from CES 2025, which is like a tech conference, I think, in Vegas. First thing, it's not really, I think it's a concept product, so we'll skip that. It's to do with health and fitness. Cool robot vacuum, that's fine. Glasses, which is, this is actually pretty cool. But it's also the edge. This is what the edge is like. These glasses are equipped with an AI agent that can listen to conversations, answer questions during meetings, and do live translation. Live translation, epic for someone that doesn't speak the native language in a country. But also, imagine that, like answer questions during meetings. These sort of things, that's kind of, whoever doesn't use AI, you're going to miss out. This is where things get absolutely nutso. This is Project Digits by NVIDIA. This is launching maybe May 2025. It's a $3,000 personal supercomputer that's 1,000 times the power of an average laptop. And you can use it as a desktop. You can use it as just artificial intelligence stuff. But anyone that has one of these will have an edge. This is insane. I don't know how they can make it for $3,000. This is significantly better than grabbing 10 4080 GPUs and putting them all together. This is nuts. This is very cool, new car tech. You can watch it yourself. That's fine. But once again, you're just going to see NVIDIA dominating. It's all in the AI space. This is open source model for like robotics. This is cool. This is pretty cool as well. And then once again, NVIDIA again. But you can see it's just such a massive focus around AI. So my point is, that's where our attention needs to be. All right, that's the news. Let's go over as many questions as we can. All right, so the first thing is Sonic launched at a $2.5 billion market cap. Amazing. I did not enter into Sonic, so let's go check it out. I mean, I clearly should have, by the looks of things. People could be most definitely up. I can't remember. Okay, we're looking at the FDV. Okay, fine. Nothing crazy in terms of volume, but I'm guessing, what was the Volt? Chris, if you can you send me the Volt link from yesterday? I'd be keen to see what people actually got in it. Because if they've gone up from like 70 cents to 97, great. But I'd love to know more about this. Obviously, it has a huge amount of potential. Don't really love the idea of like, all these layer 2 solutions for Solana. They make sense because Solana actually can't scale yet, but Solana will be able to scale. And then if Solana has all these different L2s, then we do have a bit of a problem in the future, like in the next cycle, like what Ethereum has, just fragmented liquidity. But they are specializing, I believe, in gaming. Either way, if you jump into the Vault, you'll probably be up, in which case, good work. Best guess on what types of activity will influence immediate airdrop. Should I be doing more than DLMMing? Here, it's all about just getting as many MET points as you can. You jump into Meteora's Discord and you can get access, and there's a calculator that gives you the number of your MET points. You may consider using a couple of wallets, but to be perfectly honest, there may be some sort of tiered system, but you're more likely going to, I just have a link here. You're more likely going to actually do better. I'm not even saying that you should be trying to, sorry, I think I disappeared just then. I'm not saying that you should be trying to farm the airdrop. I'm saying you should be getting good at printing fees, which isn't too difficult if you like put in the time. And I was just speaking to someone that watched my video on this a little while ago and said, thank you so much for it. The guy's a gun. He's far better than I am. He's put in the time, and he turned like 10K into $180,000 over like 8 months or something. So that's what I call the skills to pay the bills. That was like, I did a video on it back in February. And then I started helping Jupiter like with a lot of my time, and Meteora became less of my focus. And Jupiter I love, but Meteora I think is amazing. So you can see there was a decent amount of demand for it, and I don't know what the price was that they paid. I can't remember. This is for Sonic, by the way, but that doesn't matter. With Met, just join. I'm working on more content, but just join the LP Army Bootcamp. You can join Token Guys Discord and just work on making fees, making profit. Don't degenning, just upskilling, upskilling, upskilling. I've got a couple of people in my team that are doing this every day, and they're not taking too big a risk. Sometimes they're doing like $30 into a liquidity pool. I would encourage a little bit more than that if you've got the capital, and we have the capital, but just learn. Don't get the Kudos ring if you're looking for an Aura replacement. The tech just isn't there yet. So with Aura, have you tried Kudos? I think the thing here is Aura or all these different companies, they're going to own and have access to your data, and then you pay for their services, which is fine. But something like something like Kudos or with Pulse, you have access to data. You decide if you want to monetize it, which is, the data is the new oil, is the vibe. But yeah, I think if you've got the capital, these will probably outperform. But will they outperform just buying Sol, staking Sol? Sol's going to go maybe 4 or 5x, potentially, not financial advice. Then maybe not. But it's still good to use all these different things. They can get a decent return. Plus, you may end up actually really liking the tech. For Sonic SVM airdrop, is there any Sonic Season 2? Not sure. Sonic will be more beneficial. I'm unsure. I don't even know what the Sonic SV1 airdrop was like. I could never see very, very quickly what the project was about. It wasn't heavily covered on Masari. And I kind of have this vibe that, we've got a limited amount of bandwidth. And if we can't understand what a project is pretty damn quickly by going to Twitter, like a pinned tweet or going to their website, then maybe it's not really for us. And even like Grass, to understand Grass took a bit of time, and I'd put in days of research into that, and it's not feasible for future things. So something like Sonic, we could do a podcast with them, and then we could learn, of course, but I haven't reached out. What are my thoughts on D-Bridge? So there's a reason why Hype did really well as an airdrop, and that's because they put out like 33% of the supply. D-Bridge never did anything like decent. They weren't really willing to get their tokens out there. And I thought, like, it's a very clean bridge. It works very well. The fees are a little bit too high, to be honest. And the token hasn't done anything exciting. You can see there's 18% out when this of the total supply, when it's just shown time and time again over the last year since Jupe, really, because Jupe got a lot of attention, that you want to get a decent amount of your supply out in order to achieve price discovery, for people to have upside. Otherwise, VCs are going to come and they're going to be up multiples and whatnot. And there's no transparency on this. So I wouldn't call this a PPP token. I would call this a good product to use. but that's so most of the time, in crypto, people are quite often just saying, well, what should I get the token? I never like the token. I want to understand, like, why would you have a token? This is in season 2 for D-Bridge points. I would also like to see if you could go to Sui. You cannot yet, but Sui would be great. So as you can't go to Sui, and as they haven't added Sui yet, and I understand it could be difficult, then I'm going to be using Portal Bridge because Sui's got a lot more attention over there. Can I mine crypto with it? Kudos? No, I don't think so. Sonic? I'm not sure. What are some good projects that combine metaverse and AI? So this is not the narrative this time. It was a narrative previously, but there's one that comes to mind, that's Portals. So Portals I've covered before. Oh, sorry. Just quickly going back to can I mine crypto with it? That 3K laptop or desktop laptop replacement? Maybe. Look, I'm going to be trying to get a pre-order. I'll fly to the States to buy one if I'm required to do so. All right, so Portals is probably the best example, but you're late. You're late unless you've got one of these before. So let's have a look at a couple of people that I've seen on the timeline. So Bus is head of growth at Portals, and he keeps on putting stuff out that refers to AI, because essentially you can have these metaverse games that you can build without any code, and then you can have AI agents in that, and they can do all sorts of stuff. But let's just see if because I'm pretty sure he referenced AI pretty recently. But I would say Portals. What you can do right now, here, after seeing what else is out there, I can confidently say Portals is quite literally years ahead in terms of AI integrations. Don't believe me, just watch. The unfortunate issue is, let's have a look and see what Max says, Green Maxi. It's like token generation events, probably not too far away. And here you are, Green Maxi's covered Sonic, so you can look into that. His Twitter handle's MaxBRSNFT. Cool. So he's done this on Portal's airdrop calculation. So how you get an airdrop is you have to buy an NFT, stake an NFT, and I think I've got one staked here, just in this tutorial wallet. Here, maybe account, my staked NFTs, connect away. So I've got 3,497 points. The NFTs, this is just a base NFT, and I do not have a whole lot of NFTs, unfortunately. And I had one, but I lost it by failing to repay the loan, just by being not over that. So let me just find this again. Where did I put it? So this is probably going to be the best thing. So I would join the Portals community. Even maybe grabbing some of the NFTs now could be a bit of a go. But by the time you stake it, you're not actually going to get a whole lot of tokens. I've done some AMAs with Hugh Hefner and also with the CEO of Portals. You can speed through those if you like. They're just whatever. But right now, if we go and try and buy one, you're going to see that the floor price keeps on getting swept. The amount of liquidity on it is kind of low. You have to buy something like this, or if you've got the moolah, you can go for something a little bit bigger. There's still upside, and yeah, but I don't know what it is. But yeah, that's what I would go with. But it's not clearly the meta, but I think that meta will come back again. Is there a bonk airdrop? There's likely going to be a bonk airdrop after Bonk Dragon ends. The Bonk Dragon. So once again, if you've been building a dragon, and I don't have everything, but there's a couple more. I missed these ones. So I've got all these ones. It doesn't matter if you don't have them all. It's still worth getting it. It's just not going to be as big. So maybe we've got like 3 or so months before there's an airdrop coming. And maybe they auto stake it for you or something. I'm not really sure. I think that would be cool. That way there'd be less sell pressure, but unsure what their plan is. When will Web3 gaming take off? I like Honeyland. They keep building out a fun, great game. So last year I spoke to someone about Web3 gaming who was in Web3 gaming, and he said that there are people in like Ubisoft and EA Sports that already have stuff ready to go if it pops, but they're not keen to push this forward because then they lose revenue and there's this whole on-chain difficulty. And I don't think it's necessarily going to pop on Solana anytime soon because there's not like great SDKs. It was a chain that wasn't built for it. All these early adopters are trying to create it, like Star Atlas and Honeyland and whatnot. And when you have something quite successful like Steppen, the prices can go rocket up and then come right back down. Or if you have the heist, that depending on the amount of revenue you can generate, as opposed to being like an addictive kind of Clash of Clans or World of Warcraft or Call of Duty. I don't know my games, but as opposed to being an addictive game that really, feeds you the dopamine. So when I wouldn't bet on it, but these mini games like in Portals, I'm probably more bullish on them, but I'm not familiar with them enough. Are you more bullish on Simon or Pingu? Also, you know why the community sentiment on CoinMarketCap for Pingu is so low? I am far more bullish on Pingu than I am Simon's Cat. Simon's Cat's just it's cool because it's on BNB, it's on Sol as well. And they've got like IP. However, the videos are never like super engaging to me. I've never watched the whole one. So it did well for anyone that got in. I told everyone my exact thesis. Anyone that followed me, you made like a 5x or more. Whereas with Pingu, they just went and gave people their token. And so I'm far more bullish on Pingu. The issue is Pingu, I think this could hit an FDV of 100 billion this cycle. I've mentioned this before, I'd take profits earlier than that at different levels. We won't look at the 1 minute chart, but I'm probably bullish on it. There's been a downward trend in the entire market. Simon's Cat is nowhere near this. It's significantly smaller, and that's fine. On CoinMarketCap, I don't know why they're as bad. I don't even know that there was, but maybe people just have gone and kind of botted it down. I don't really know where I'm looking. Rating of 4. I'm just not sure where to look, to be perfectly honest. Oh, here. Okay. Wow, 116,000 votes. Well, I'd have to log in to be bullish. Oh, no. Okay, you don't have to log in. This could easily be botted. This is not like a clear indicator, I don't think. Bonk, let's have a look at Bonk. Bullish. Let's have a look at Whiff. Well, I'm not going to do it. But I'm more bearish. So yeah, I don't know if this is a reliable thing. You could bot that. You could easily bot that down because you don't have to log in. Let's have a look at Simon's Cat. This is a pretty cool thing though. If you had to log in. Bullish. Yeah, well, there you are. I think it's just been botted, to be honest. I don't think people are going to be bearish on it. Not that many. Yeah, good advice with DLMing is, take profit. Yesterday, I jumped into a pool, printed 10%, and I closed it. Went down to 8%. I was going to close it then. I waited for the MACD to reverse, which I covered yesterday in yesterday's video. At the end of the video, you can watch that. And then it went up to 10. I just took it out in 10%. 10%, 15 hours. That was good. That was good. There's a lot of things to keep in mind with DLMing. You want a chart that's going up. You don't want a token to tank. And if it does tank, sometimes you need to cut your losses. It's like trading, but it's an easier skill to learn than trading with less risk, in my opinion. How do you earn $20, $25 per day without any investment or trading? Well, you could take a token like Sol and stake it, but you need a decent amount of Sol to even get that kind of profitability. And I imagine if you wanted to earn 20 or 25, that would maybe pay your expenses. So you're in a more affordable country, in which case that's hard because you want really low risk. And if you lost $500, it would, it would upset you greatly. So I don't have any opinions for you, unfortunately. How can I link my Phantom wallet to my Jupiter wallet? So you have a secret recovery phrase inside your wallet. You can grab the secret recovery phrase from going in here. You should have it backed up, and then you go into the settings, and then you go and security and privacy. You go somewhere in here, and you basically export the 12 words, and then you go and import it in, or you can import a private key as well. I've done a dedicated video on the difference between like a seed phrase, a private key, a public key, etc. You can watch that. But you should know what your 12 words are. And then you can just use the same one. Or you can just use two different wallets. It doesn't matter. How long have I been in crypto? Also, do you have a team that does some research for your alpha? I've been in crypto since 2017. In 2017, I was clueless. In even previous cycle, I was far more clued on, but I was working too hard for individual projects, which did very well, but I didn't have upside with them. So now I just do my own stuff, but I don't do sponsorship or anything, just to keep it credible. I am the general manager of validator.com. So when you stake your soul, like this is how I pay the bills. And yeah, we've got a sizable team of creative people that do like editing and art and stuff. And then also alpha. There's two people in particular that do a whole lot, just hours and hours just curating different alpha, because AI is helpful, but not as helpful as just using it in addition with, Masari and just having dedicated Twitter lists. Appreciate that. Thank you. Okay, so the Sonic Vault was 6 cents per token. If that was the case, then it did very, very well. But I can't confirm that. Okay, I don't agree. I agree. I don't see AI studios getting into heavy, but other Solana and blockchain studios, I do see a market for and hope Solana can capture them and grow. Okay, well, I mean, portals I'm more bullish on. Something new is going to probably outperform something old, and that's annoying because something like Star Atlas has actually done a lot of work, but they've got a token, and there's so much. If it starts to pump, then people just take massive profits, because you can see at one stage the market cap of this was 400 million, and now it's just tanked down significantly. And there's another one. There's many of them out there. So any new projects coming along, I think definitely worthwhile to look at. I'm not aware of anything like really like amazing. I did cover a couple on Abstract the other day that I would look into, but I wouldn't go and buy like an expensive two ETH NFT in order to get into the game or whatever. I think we can cover this in another video, but basically you don't want like a 10K collection and those people do well and they can flip on each other. You want something that can have like 100,000 daily active users, and ideally like 1 million people using it. And I actually had a view on this in the previous cycle, and I'm not good enough in this. I'm not experienced enough in gaming to see that I'm right or wrong. It's called Ember's Sword, and I bought some of this land, and I never sold it. And the traction they had previously and compared to what they're getting now is quite a bit low. And they've been building for a long time. But what I thought could be really cool is, imagine, a nice, beautiful thing with running around, voice chat with your peeps. You go and gain value in here, and then you also DLMMing on this screen and jumping into meme coins over here, and just sharing alpha, like more of a chance for people to find some enjoyment in this sense, but also just talk, as opposed to like jumping on a voice call or a Twitter space. I reckon this is where it'd be kind of cool, but I'm not entirely sure. Okay, so just quickly gonna go back to this. Um, it looks as though anyone that did jump into the Sonic Vault has done really, really well. Let me just show you. So clearly it's something I don't know about it, and that's fine. The Vault, uh, the price was um, it was 6.6 cents per token, apparently. I guess if you worked it out. So good work. If you did actually manage to get in, you're up. A multiple, you would have been refunded significantly though. You could do a maximum of 450, so you would have got $45 worth of tokens, or you could have entered with multiple wallets. And that would have been a quite a winner had I had been familiar. Who uses CoinMarketCap? Plenty of people, but yeah, I use CoinGecko mostly. Excuse me. DLMing, if I could say one thing, like if you don't have the time or the skill, just go and airdrop farm with low capital as much on things you've got conviction. But if you have the time and if you're smart and if you're happy to not gamble but take calculated risks, then DLMing is probably your fastest way to make. My question is, how can I work with you with writing contents? I'm not taking anyone else on the team, but what I would suggest, anybody that's in this kind of shape, so I would say, like, not to be mean or anything, but um, writing contents, there's no S on contents like this. It's grammatically incorrect, which is fine. When you are entering these things, just use like a chat GPT or something to fix up your grammar, to give you a little bit of an edge. But just go to superteam.earn and just go and apply for things and just make my biggest advice if you're going to do these sort of things, $60,000 worth of opportunities, is don't just go and take what they say and then reword it with an AI. Understand that basically, because so many projects can't understand it. If you can understand it like and explain like I'm 10 years old kind of manner, and then convey that in a nice way, that is good content. And that's why people tune into these videos, because I can break it down. It's hard. It's really hard. But yeah, check out this stuff. Create content on Alchemist AI. Go and do that. And then you can make some money. Not hard to make 20 bucks a day. It isn't hard if you've got a few skills, but I kind of feel that someone at that level, I don't know what your portfolio was worth previously, but I don't think like maybe it's $200 to $500. Mad Lads and Backpack on top. So I think I've never used the Backpack Exchange because it's not available in Europe yet, and I don't have a Mad Lad, but I agree that was a mistake on my part. I disagreed with some, and I don't like the actual wallet. It's not as good as Solflare. It's not as good as Phantom, but Amani is goated in his area for sure. And I would love a Mad Lad. Yeah. Is it possible to turn 220K into 5 mil in this bull season? Respectfully, with not ease, but not relative ease, but with like a decent, like with like 60-hour weeks and without leverage trading, yeah, for sure. Definitely for sure. But you just need to get good at multiple things, and you probably need to play on base, Solana, abstract when it comes up. And you may need like an intern to help you as well. And you need to reward those interns when they do well for you. Otherwise, they get too good and they're just going to do their own thing. Been doing DLMing and LP on media since October, but I haven't received Sonic. You don't get Sonic for DLMing. It was an alpha vault. You had to go into it, put in money, and then claim it. That's how that worked. They use the alpha vault as a means of kind of fundraising in a fair and transparent manner. Can you share the LP Army Bootcamp link info? So this is done via Meteora. It's done with Heavy Metal Cook. And so it's done every couple of weeks. bootcamp.meteora.ag. I guess you go and sign up here, register, and then you'll be told when it's next happening. I don't know when it's next happening. If you jump into Meteora in Discord, it's on my other screen here. If you jump in there, quite often they have in the top left, at the top, they've got events. I'll take a screenshot and I'll show you what it kind of looks like. And you might see something here, but I don't see anything. So weekly community call, jump into that, ask that question there, office hours, but there's nothing planned yet. But Token Guy is pretty damn decent. He's far better than I am. For now, actually, you'll probably be better because I'm doing too many things, but check out his stuff. And I mentioned this in a video recently. I've asked Tux if he can jump on and if he wants to do like a chat, like a podcast, but he has not said yes thus far. And he doesn't have to. Check out this, follow this, and I'll work on more content. But yeah, DLMing, that is where the party's at. Okay, what about abstract NFTs? Okay, so I'm going to pull up some links from a little while ago on stuff that I think could have hype. Now, I don't want to disrespect any community, but this is a different cycle. People know things differently. You know, I love my DJ Napes, but the floor price went up and went down. And the only way to sustain these things is to reward the people that hold them. And if you run out of money, or if you build something that you think has product market fit that doesn't, and this, I'm not singling DJ Napes, this is what I'm most familiar with. All of them are like this, unless they can accrue money to the holder, or give a reason to be really part of that community. So what I'm trying to say is, if there are hype things that you get into, you're probably best off to make a little bit of profit, to sell, and then if you miss out, if you find that you love that community, maybe buy back in. That is potentially what I think could be worthwhile. So let me just open up some things here of maybe something worth getting into. This is from like my video on abstract. And I'll show you something. So this is how we like curate our alpha. It's all done in a shared Google, and we have all the different links. So that way I have all the reference links in the videos, and then notes and whatnot, because there is an insane amount of research that goes into this. So I'm very appreciative of the team that does this. And then we can always back check things that we kind of cover as well. So I can put all these links at the end. Abstract has a lot of hype. Here are some projects. I've already been mentioned this again, Myriad Markets. I actually mentioned it, and someone else said, I'm using it. And I said, I don't even know what that is. So that's how much content I cover. Abstract NFTs. This is On-Chain Heroes. I'll just link these sort of things. If it looks good, if it's got lots of hype, it's probably worth looking into. But getting whitelisted is not going to be very, very easy for everything. I mean, this one here looks like it's no longer around. If they are trying to copy, that one isn't, but if they're trying to copy, I would say make sure you've got a blue tick. That way they're at least trying to get more engagement. If it's too much of a copycat in terms of maybe like another penguin, or if it's kind of trying to use Pudgy Penguin's IP already, I would stay away from it. This is kind of cool. I've never seen this. Poker meets Catan. I play Catan. It is cool, but poker, I don't know. So I'll link all these at the end, and then you can have a look. This kind of stuff, it's not going to be easy to get whitelist, but it's just like a grind. Grind them, get them, mint, flip, anything you really like. If it's a conviction play, hang on to it. That would be how I would play that. Yes, it was 6.6 cents, but it was 1,000% overpaid. It was, but you still got, if you put in 450, you got $45 worth, which has then almost 20x. So, you know, that's almost into a, like, it's $45 into like $800. My pleasure, sir. Any time frame for your paid group to start? I just want to do this legally. So create a company, and then ideally in January. It's not to try and gatekeep information. It's just sometimes, like, if I say something, so much research goes in, then you get these people that are really upset. They've overinvested. They don't understand the basics. They don't understand how to take responsibility, and then they just start, you know, throwing abuse. And I just don't have time for it. It doesn't help them become a more responsible human of being able to make decisions themselves, and it hurts just getting my content onto the algorithm, which is very low shill. It's just like, check out these things, by the way, buy a ledger. You know, it's stuff that keeps you leveling up, in my opinion. Love the idea of game content one screen, dealing on the other, diversity of the key. So maybe after I clean my desk, I have 3 screens. I've got camera here, a 27-inch monitor, another 27-inch monitor, vertical, and then a 32-inch monitor. And you don't need, that's a little bit overkill, but I'm doing a few things at once. But yeah, if you can try and get a dual monitor setup, this is a bit of an efficiency hack if you have those skills. And if someone is not, if you don't have a whole lot of money and you need like a new computer because you do want something relatively fast, the Mac Minis, which I own, but I don't use as my daily driver, they are probably your best bang for buck. A Mac Mini base model, get an external SSD. That's what I'd go with. Do you know if the medium airdrop will be around $1? I have no idea. I don't think it's going to be $1. No, it's not going to be. No, it's not going to be like that. For sure, it's not going to be like that. But Meteor will go absolutely nutty. Oh, actually, I want to show you something else. Cato AI. Let me just find it live. So I'm going to monitor this, and I'm going to sign up to these guys here, which I've added before, but I don't understand it fully yet. But I'm still going to sign up. It's quite expensive, but I think it's cool. Boom. This is referring to pre-token generation events in terms of how much Twitter hype they have. Now you have to keep in mind that you can bot this, but this is very interesting. Cato, whole lot of hype. If you don't know what it is, this measures like engagement and, you know, who's sharing a lot of stuff. Like you see like Mert and whatnot right at the top. And this is a good indicator on where to put attention, maybe to airdrop farm. So I'll put this link in below as well, but Cato, can't really airdrop farm this unless you're using it and paying for it probably. Chain, go over there, do some stuff. Then we've got storyboard and whatnot. Down here, we've got poor little old Met at 1.08% right now. Just keep in mind, we are the 7th of January, 2025. This has 1% market share in terms of like airdrop potential or a future token coming out, whatever. This will grow and grow and grow. And this portfolio, I have no idea how they're going to do their tokenomics. I don't think they're going to screw up their tokenomics. But if they did, then the point's moot, you know, whatever. My TLDR is this will grow exceptionally well. It's not going to be worth $1, whatever. But if you're looking at this and you start to see things increase, you're on the right track. If you're looking at these and you're seeing they're getting a whole lot of attention, put a little bit of attention on them. Yeah, hope that helps. You're almost at 1 mil M3 tokens. Don't know how much it is, but that's a lot. Let's have a look. I'm behind on my comments, exceptionally behind by 7 minutes. So I'll try and go through these faster. M3, 1 milli. You have $73,000 worth of tokens. If that's the case, well done. Bonk price prediction market cap wise, 30 to 50 billion at the peak. They have they've proven themselves, and they did actually save Solana. People will remember this in the future. The bonk guy is right. The bonk guy has been right. It's just things don't go up straight up a vertical. I think I heard you mention you loaned out an NFT and used it as collateral. Do you ever do the flip side and do the lending of capital? No, NFTs are like really volatile. I don't think it's a good use of capital unless you're really good at it. DLMMing is where like stake Sol, DLMMing, puts money into Camino, borrow USDC. That's kind of my play here. Meme coins, trying to trade them, that's hard. If I made no content at all and just did that full time, I think I'd get good at it. But it's shallow. It doesn't help really. Well, it helps you build your bag, so you're welcome to do it, but it doesn't do me. So NFT lending, you can have a look at all the platforms that have done them before. Like banks is kind of the bigger one. And then they haven't been able to accrue more value to the users, and I don't think it's worthwhile. What do I think about dupe 30% burn? Okay, so Jupiter is going to do very well in 2025, is my opinion. Burning a decent amount of the supply is going to be magical. Trying to get more tokens out into so that we can try and get to that 30 to 40% of distribution would be amazing. If the team shows how long their tokens are locked for, if they lock them on Streamflow, if they lock them on lock.dupe.ag, that would be good. Cash coming on board, like kind of heading comms and stuff like that, is amazing. You let people that are good at developing visionary stuff like Meow, you let them do their stuff, and you let someone that's great at communicating a message do their stuff. So Cash, Meow, I think Dupe is going to outperform Sol at this point, which of course is kind of it has to happen. I don't think it's gonna. I don't know how big it's going to get to. I don't even know why it's kind of where it is right now. But you have to keep in mind that if you're looking at the price, and we'll pull up the price. If you're looking at the price of Dupe and you're thinking to yourself, it just hasn't gone that well, you're welcome to think that. If you staked your Dupe and then did your votes and then claimed your active staking rewards, you're up more than 80%. This is max 1 year, right? So from you kind of avoid the first days of trading quite often. So we can say around 50 cents, went all the way here, but even at 50 cents, you've made 100% gains because you keep on staking and restaking. Plus you've got that Pingu airdrop and whatnot. It's the most, like Jupiter's the most used dApp probably. So yeah, I'm excited for it. This is what I don't love though. And they did their token before things were came back on. They announced their token at Solana Breakpoint 2023 in Amsterdam when Sol was $20 or $25 or something. And then Sol outperformed every other major layer one, but they only had 16%. And we kind of know now, or I believe, that you want to have 30 to 40% on token generation event, and that gives a lot more upside to people that are bullish on your protocol. Plus, if you're going to launch a token now, I would say try and get 60 to 70% to the community and 30% for the team. VCs won't like it, the team won't like it, but basically the community is a marketing arm for you. Have I tried Kudis? No, I haven't, but I mentioned it early on. But you're happy thus far? Perfect. You might be able to get a cast card. Have a look at the beginning of the video at the end of the video. Cast premium card for free, which would be good. Thoughts on Drip? Drip is another one of those things where people are using Drip in order to hopefully be rewarded with an airdrop. I don't know how much money Drip makes. I don't think it's going to be very high, but it has potential. I think it's very good for collecting if you're into collecting. But even if you've been active on there, you got I think a Pingu airdrop. You've got other airdrops. So it's a good community building thing. I think Drip is amazing. I think Vibu is very, very cool. But it's like it could have a token in the future, but I don't speculate that it will. Do you think owning a DGOD will get you an abstract airdrop? I know if Luke and Frank were good friends at one point. I have no idea, but I don't think it would be the best use of capital. I don't think, like, Frank didn't really do too many things wrong. He gets a lot of hate. Obviously, leaving Solana wasn't the smartest move, but he wasn't a crypto guy. He didn't understand like the conviction. He just understood things that did really, really well. And like Ute was my biggest loss, other than like the FTX rug. So I'm not, yeah, I wouldn't say that is worthwhile. Thank you. No idea what this is, but Henlo on Berachain, if people are familiar with it, check it out. So the Solid token, I'm not bearish or bullish. I've given a lot of feedback to Simon beforehand, and I'm bullish on what they're building. So if they can build this, I don't know why that's not here yet. This is annoying. If they can create some sort of, if they can create and ship within 3 months, then yeah, then I'm bullish. But I don't like the idea that of tokenomics that are, 50-50. I think they need to be more, to be honest. I mean, its market cap's 41 million. It's okay, but I'm not buying the token or DLMMing it. It has very small volume, so they've got a lot of shipping to do. But they had a successful launch, and they are good at marketing. But you have to market, and then you have to have a product that people want, and they can achieve that. Just I don't know how long. So with Uprock, UPT, which I don't talk about anymore, I was never like a public bull on it, but I liked what they were building, and the token did very, very poorly. And so with these ones here, where they have to build something or they have to get speculative kind of people interested, I'm not sure. I don't really want to give an opinion on them because I don't want to hurt them, and I don't want to say I'm bullish on them when they need to ship and bring value back to the holder, right? Stick to free information. People create dump groups. Not sure what that's in reference to, but very, very true. Quite often, people, there's a lot of telegrams that I follow, and they have like this marketing plan. Like, I found this 100x, so I did this. Follow me, and I'll invite you into a private group, and they never do, and they just dump on you. They say, I'm aping into this, and if you track their wallets, they just dump on you. Okay, answer that. Is there a borrow lend protocol that you recommend? I talk about this all day, every day, more or less, and that's Camino, baby. Camino.finance. This is where the party's at. And you know what you can look at to see what is worthwhile? It can be faked from time to time, but DeFi Llama is your friend. You come here, you find the chain that you're on. So let's say you're like, okay, I want to play on Base. You can see the TVL is growing, which is good. And then have a look at the protocols and see what's lending, the lending markets. This is Morpho Blue. So you check out this. Well, I'd use Aave over Morpho Blue, but I don't even know what they are. But maybe there's an airdrop or whatever. You'd have a look and think, okay, they've got the most amount of TVL in the lending space. Worthwhile. Aave is the biggest. They're not on Solana, though. If we have a look at Sui, we can see Scallop, and we also have Suilend. Oh, it's at the top here. Suilend is a big dog. They need to add the lending tag. That is where the party would be. And when you have a look at our precious Solana, our TVL, by the way, it's at all-time highs. This was double and triple counted in the previous cycle by cheeky buggers. They need to have, well, they're more than lending, I guess. 2.23 billion. This has the most amount of TVL. That's not like a DEX or Jito. This is where the party's at. I have tutorials on it as well. How are we feeling about the Degenerate? Any insider? I don't work with the Degen Ape team. I I think I have no insider information. I still hold my DJ Napes, but in general, like NFTs, I'm not really fully interested in these days. They just don't do too well, but they will on abstract, most likely. Well done, Moonship. Goodness gracious. So Moonship had a whole lot of M3, and then you got a massive airdrop. Now M3, I don't know how much is a minimum, but you can go and connect your wallet, buy some if you're keen. You can see I've got 2,400 in this tutorial wallet. In my main, I'm still not in the top 999. It depends on what I have to stake a whole lot to be in the top. I'm nowhere near as like what Moonship is. He's got some conviction, but you can see I'm earning with these ones, and you need to stay in the top amount in order to claim, in order to like get rewards. But even if you're not in the top amount, if you have some M3, you may be qualified for airdrops in the future. See this rewards? These rewards, it goes to me, and then I stake the pump.ai and goes back in. I can, of course, unstake, and it takes like a day or whatever it is if I do want to sell, but I do not want to sell. Claim and restake, probably not really worth the sole transaction, but we'll do it anyway. All right. Thank you, Dubsky. Wait to buy dupe after the airdrops. Yeah, with like there's no exact time on when to buy dupe, right? Just I've got a bit of conviction. I don't have a dollar cost average in or anything. I've got like dupe that I've been accumulating. I don't have any dupe from working with Uplink or anything like that. So I don't know when the right time to buy is, but I'm just not selling. Not selling. Pingu, love it. Deep Book is protocol still on my list of things to cover. I still have a lot of videos to make over there. I don't know this Lord Swifty, but kind of sounds pretty cool. Griffin, the token's been doing very well. I don't have any, but I have no idea what it is. I will not be DLMMing Sonic, and I'll show you why. This is not against Sonic. This is against, I think the valuation is probably too high because I don't understand it. I don't know what's it all about. Sorry, go back to Sonic. Normally skip the first pool because it's normally rating, but have a look and you can see the volume, the liquidity, etc. Jump into this one, see the volume. It's 1.6 million. Okay, it's doing well, which is quite high, but that's a decent amount of liquidity. But what we can do is we can take this and we can go to Hawk Phi, and then we can just paste in this puppy, or we may even see at the top here, paste it in, and for a very new token, I like this, I would like it to be like over 40%. This is actually not bad. Some of these pools, okay, we have to skip this first pool. This is 5%. No one's going to be paying 5% right now. This is not a good performing pool. People are not entering this one, but more likely it would be this one. And you can see what you're going to earn is going to be fairly low at like 9%. And it will likely decrease unless it gets quite a bit of hype. So that's why I'm not DLMMing it. The whole thing with DLMMing is you need to print more fees than you have in permanent loss. If you can't do that, it won't happen. Do you think Pingu can hit $1 this 2025? It's like 4 cents now, and it has yeah, I do. So how I work this out, we could use Gronk or whatever, but it's like about a $3 billion FTV. And I think it could go to 100 billion. It's quite so yeah, if that does a 33x, then it'll be over $1. It'd be like $1.30 or something like that. But I did a video on Pingu. I'm just going with like the most bullish case possible. Murad Memedov said that there will be tokens that will break 100 million, 100 billion in the meme coin category. And I think that will be the case. I think Pingu will be one of them. Excuse me, sorry. But however, like I'm going to take profits before that, right? Take profits at maybe like 10, 20, 30, 50. Maybe I have this small bag, and if it gets anywhere near 100 billion, I would probably sell the vast majority, and I'll just be like, I'll just wait for it to come back down, because it will come back down. And then I would only hold it for another cycle based on what I know. And this would kind of few points I'll put in a paid group. If like Luca was just committed to sticking around, and that's what I don't know. So maximum 100 billion, but I'd be selling before that, most of it. I covered this at the beginning of the video, but yeah, I've got a video as well. Do I stake Sui? I haven't started staking Sui. It's got yet, but I've just been showing another Sui in other tutorials. But I do use a Sui wallet. Did Jupiter stakers get pudgy airdrop? Apparently, if you're in like the top 10% or something like that. This is like really hard because like what are these AI agents doing that are accumulating value? I'm just not sure yet. So I've gone and bought a decent stack, not a decent stack, but a little bit of Zero Boy. And just because a friend of mine did some research and said, I'm just bought this. So I said, okay. I just went and did, like that's the level of Zero Bro, sorry. I'm down, but then again, everything's down, so I don't mind. So I don't know, I bought it around here. I'm down, but quite a bit of potential there. You've got AI16Z, which is kind of doing really, really well. They pumped on Binance's listing. But these ones here, like it's kind of scary to enter into here. Like it could go to $5 as an example, but it's already like quite valuable, and I don't know why. It's cool what they're building though. So I'm bullish on AI space. It's just like someone that comes along and says, here is a token, here is transparent, this is what we're building, and we are going to keep building this, and this is how the token gains value, or there's some like logical connection, then it's like, it's kind of game over. But AI16Z, I don't know why you're holding it. But I just don't know. But there'll be information out there. Would it be wise? So you're asking here for financial advice, which I can't give. And in order for you to put on a hedge position with Drift, I've got a video, just type in Drift hedging. You can do that, but you have to know how to hedge, and you have to have a decent amount of capital. And look, there'll be big whales that are doing it. That are just like, I want to get rid. I don't want dupe. But like I do think Cash, who used to be the head of Super Team until like January 31st of December and is now part of Jupiter, I do think he is well connected. He's works very hard. He's a good speaker. I do think the attention on Jupiter is going to 50x this year. So with that in mind, I'm not gonna say short it. I'm not gonna say short or long. I'm just saying I'm not shorting it. It's 9% daily though. Don't know what that is. My apologies. Let me just see what I missed. By the way, so we're at an hour into live stream, but I'll go through the last few questions. Solid did a Borg sell at 20 million valuation, so it's doing well. And regarding the Kudos ring, you have to pay with a CAS card in order to get the Premium X card for free. But I covered that earlier on, but just as a reminder if you're keen. Will we be holding staking Duke 2026? All those kind of key points, when I create a paid group, that's where I would put that information. Because the thing is, if I don't know. And like you can make those decisions closer to the time, because we could go into a bull market into early 2026. We don't know. The whales decide and the markets decide. and we are neither. I don't really look at things like where will a token be in 5 years, because I do have this core belief that, and it's better if I visually show you this. So let me just go and find it. DYOR Crypto 18.6 year cycle. This here. Well, there you are. So this infographic, and Jason's a friend, he doesn't follow me, but he is a friend. And he just trades. So just to be clear, he just trades, doesn't stake Sol, doesn't do any of that sort of stuff as far as I'm aware. He just looks at charts. He's got an edge in that way and doesn't have an edge another way. But he's a firm believer, and he was a person that got me onto the 18.6 year property cycle. And this makes everything in the markets kind of move. It doesn't matter if you money print more, you're still going to have like an inflation period, and it's just going to go boom. So for 5 years, for Pingu for 5 years or whatever, like that's a big ask for someone like Luca to keep their motivation for 5 more years. However, because it's not like Doge, it's not like it was kind of spawned and just the meme kind of lives on. It needs Pingu needs active pushing in order for people to be, okay, I'm interested. Luca has said in interviews, which is really good, that he just has like a chip on his shoulder, and he wants to prove those that didn't invest in him when he needed it, like I can't remember some of the VCs, but they gave like 50 million to Moonbirds or whatever. That's basically a soft rug. He wanted to prove them wrong, not go out there in a way of aggressively saying you're ha ha ha, just like boom, let me build. So yeah, I think he has that potential. But then he could also reach $1 billion net worth, or like $500 million, and just be like, I'm out. You know, it's not worth my security. I'm out, gonna go make babies. I don't know. Maybe I can do a podcast with him and see what his vision is for 5-10 years. That would be a smart idea. Either way, at this point, like taking profits on the way up is what I'm going to be doing. You can do what you like, because it will be brutal. I will stick around in the bear market, but this will be very brutal. This downward movement, houses, the like AI, robotics, and then we'll start to climb up with new narratives. So 5 years, really long. Same for everyone, Jupe. Are you using any LSTs? So I still need to make one for Validate.com. That'll be coming. But Jito Sol is my favorite LST. But do love Sanctum. I'm not saying buy cloud, I'm just saying like pay attention to Sanctum. They have the coolest branding. They get stuff done. They're growing their TVL. They're just not pushing hard, but something's going to happen because staking's coming. I'm just going to take my cloud and stake it, and I'm just going to bet on Sanctum. WebPay Group, maybe in Jan if I can get a company up fast enough. Have 2 people looking into this. One person's traveling soon, so unsure when that's going to go on. And yeah, don't know. Wacky Terminal Truth will rock in 2025. Okay, well, Moonship, you may already be in my DMs, but you can give me some more information on that, and we can cover it next time, because I don't know what it is yet. But I understand what, like, it's, you know, Truth Terminals, what created GOAT. So Wacky Truth Terminal, some sort of copy pasta, may not be. If you stake the same amount of dupe that you short, then it'll be delta neutral yield on the stake dupe. Obviously, if you're bullish, yeah, but you have to keep in mind that if you, let me just show you. This is a long live stream. Thank you for tuning in. So let's say this is a tutorial wallet. So this is peanuts. 62 staked dupe. So let's say this is 62 staked dupe worth $62. If you go to drift.trade and you launch the app and you connect away, ooh, our poor Solana. We have dipped hard. And then if you come up here and go to dupe, I've got a whole video on this. I don't know why I'm covering it so much. But if you decide to go and put on a short position of, 62 whatever, you might need 3 times the collateral or more. You go and short it. So if you had 1,000 dupe or 10,000 dupe, then you need like $30,000 in case it starts to increase in price. In which case, this is a delta neutral play. The good thing is you actually get paid to short most of the time because of how funding rates work. But that's covered in another video. Early in the stream, point out how holding can qualify for airdrops such as Pingu. My question is, if I purchase that amount of dupe before the dupe array, will I be eligible for airdrops? The projects that airdrop to people, they decide. And Pingu, like Luca, is friends with Meow, and they decided that, or Luca did, and maybe Meow gave some input. I have no information on this. It has the potential to, because it's you want to try and attract people that hold dupe, because it's a cult. It's a cult that's actively being formed. It only goes up, indeed. Don't know why. Don't think people know what's going to happen in the crypto market with the first US supported government. Well, I think it's going to go silly. But then I also think that's because we're in the final 1.5, 2 years of the 18.6 year cycle. Tot, fart, coin, and goat next is queef. Okay, well, send me some information. The dupe you get dropped is automatically staked. You can't short it. You can short it. You can short the dupe. It's just you have to have collateral outside. You're shorting it, and this is delta neutral, and you actually get paid to short, and you lock in whatever price. So people will be doing it for sure. There will be, 100%. Is it possible phantom users will get abstract airdrop? Maybe. I use Solflare, so I'd love it if Solflare did. But Luca and Phantom seem to be quite close, so that's certainly smart. You'll just get a yield on the funding rate, as you said. So yeah, you have to monitor the collateral. Unsure. There's so many things. We'll have a little look into it. Yeah. All right. 1 hour, 17 minutes. Thank you very much for your time. And yeah, that's all. Catch you in the next video, and then another AMA next week. Cheers. Whoa.